All right, so welcome everyone to our completion station of the Demartini Method for the virus. So I have Faith Martin with us. She's currently on the phone and loving technology right now. She's going to jump on Zoom just shortly. So welcome. Now, just to let you know that this is an open conversation. So except for when Faith and I do our completion, apart from that, you are more than welcome to jump in, share a bit, and it's a free-flowing conversation between all of us. So just to let you know, if you haven't already welcomed yourself in the chat section, feel free to do that as people are arriving in. So if I just, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tanya Cross. I've been a facilitator and master certified for the last 10, almost 11 years. And I love the work. I live and breathe it. I find it the most inspiring thing that I can do with my time, and I love being able to share it with people as well. So I had a conversation with Faith at the beginning of the week, and she rang me to say, hey, I'm doing the Demartini Method on the virus. And I said, well, so am I. And she said, I'd love to do the completion station with you. And I said, oh, well, I'd love to be your surrogate. So after that conversation, I had to think about it. I thought, you know what, given that the Saturday evening of the breakthrough is so powerful and so transformational, I thought, well, why don't we all come together and do it together and experience it together, so that we can have a transcendental experience and we can get on doing something that is inspiring for us and not let that, keep on getting us, sucked in, which is how I felt like in the beginning. So I can see that if we just talk about the virus itself, I can see that every country is, very different at the moment, or every city is very different in terms of what stages you're at with the virus. So I'd love to know, like, for what is it for your city or your country? Where are you at with your stage of how it's impacting you? David.
We're on. I've been a bit out of touch because I get really scared by medias, but you sort of find out what you need to find out somehow. So the country's they love saying it's in lockdown, but when you go out in the morning for a walk, everyone seems okay.
So you're still able to go for a walk, but the majority of the time you have to be inside.
Yeah, it's like one walk a day, and then visits to the chemist or shopping is okay.
Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, people seem to be just being okay with it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So I know that in Queensland, your borders are completely closed. Isn't that right, Deb?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we're shut down.
Yeah,
in that regard.
Yeah, it was so completely shut down. I know Tasmania has decided to be a country all on its own and completely isolate itself. So so New Zealand, Anna's in New Zealand right now, and she's also completely in lockdown as well, just being able to, Anna, go out and walk.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. We can go for walks, but we have to stay within very close to our house and our suburbs. In supermarkets, there are big queues. We have to have 2 meters apart. Basically, we can't do anything. They've said no frisbee, no touch, because some people are playing frisbee. Stay home, don't go anywhere, and we're grounded.
You're grounded.
We're grounded. Stay home.
Yeah. So naughty school kids go grounded, going just back home. Stay in your bedroom.
Exactly.
So, okay, so different countries are at different stages. Now, as you know, that we filter the world very differently. So according to our own charges and our own buttons, we're going to see the world and filter the world differently. We see the world as we are, not as it is. And so the story I share is there's three people, and they're standing at a set of traffic lights, and they're about to cross the road, but there's a head-on car collision right in front of them. So the first individual, she goes immediately to start helping the people in the crash, and she's got training as a nurse. She's used to that kind of dynamic, and she's ready to go. So that's how she sees the world. Then the next individual, she has a cane and she falls straight on the ground, and she is in this cathartic, crying and can't stop and is inconsolable. And she sees it because she was in a car accident, something similar, and her past history then says, well, I can't deal with that, I'm just going to shut down. Then the third individual, he's with his mates, and he's like, oh my God, how cool was that? It's just like we play on like Grand Theft Auto, So you've got three individuals all experiencing the one event and all seeing it very differently. So our experiences then of the virus and all the things that are being experienced as a result of the virus, we're going to filter it according to our stuff. So Pam Maxwell put on the Facebook group, on the Students of Wisdom Facebook group, she put one of the traits, actions or inactions that she was working on. I'm not going to share it unless she chooses to share it. Actually, she shared it publicly, so that's okay. She said secretive, and I thought, oh my gosh, I used to have a big charge on that years ago, but I'm like, I didn't even see the virus as being secretive. But mine, for example, was one of them was being shut down, and that was a huge one for me. But I didn't see secretive, I saw shut down. But that's because my charge, my history is different to Pam's, which is different to Leanne's, which is different to Anna's, which is different to Maggie's. Like, everyone's charges and what we see is differently. So some people can be laughing at the fact that they're in their room and staying at home, but then other people are really struggling and struggling to be able to deal with being at home just on their own because they've got their own stuff to deal with. So I share that because everyone's button is going to be different, but together through this process, we'll see that there's a lot of commonality between what we're all working on and dealing with. So the Demartini Method is a 9-step process in terms of being able to step-by-step methodically work through your emotions to resolve that, so that you don't have to be so consumed in and scared and frightened or being affected by other people's stuff, that you can remain centered and poised and staying on your path and your focus and what your mission is, as opposed to getting kind of caught up in all of this. So it's very effective. The thing is about the Demartini Method, though, it is a brain training exercise. So at first you come to the breakthrough experience, or you have exposure to the work, and you get out your Demartini Method form and you start filling out the form. And then over time, you start to learn to ask the questions without needing and requiring the form. And then you train your brain to do it regularly. And the more regularly you do it without having to need the form is actually when you've come to the point of more mastery. You'll never master it because there's so many complexities. Like, there's ever a point where you're mastered and you're done. It's continually evolving. So it's a brain training. So for example, when I started my process, I started it on the form, and then I would work a little bit off the form. So, and then I'd come back and I'd just tick that box that I'd done, or I'd fill it out more. So for example, one of the specific traits, actions or inactions I was working on, I was at the chiropractor and I was laying down and I was thinking about one of the traits, the action actually that I was owning, or the inaction actually that I was owning, which was shut down. And I'm in my brain processing it, and then have this huge shift while I was laying down in the chiropractor. I had to, the paper that they put down was all wet because I'd cried on it. So I had to compose myself again before the chiropractor came in. So what what I want you to know is that you don't have to sit and do the method, the Demartini method, just on the form, that you can learn to master it while just in your everyday. And the more that you can do that, the more you can dissolve things and charges along the way. So comes back to today and this webinar today. So Faith Martin, I don't know, does anyone, like, some people may have heard of it, some people may not, because I know there's a few newbies in the room. So Faith Martin has been, how long, Faith, have you been in the work for?
I think I'm still here. I'm just join meeting in progress. I'm not a robot.
No, you're not a robot.
Okay. 25 years, I believe. I used to say I happened to be in the right place at the right time, but it appears that no matter what we think, it's the right time and the right place. Yes, and it had a profound impact on my current status at the time, but also it opened up enormous corridors for me to understand my past. And what I found is that I committed my life to understanding characters through film and television, and there's been an insatiable appetite to understand those characters, and so it enabled me to find that in my own life, and indeed the subject that we're talking about right now. So a real hunger to learn.
And so Faith has been teaching in different forms with the Demartini Method for quite a long time as well. So we got together and we decided that we would do the completion stations with you. So that's what we're going to do shortly. So Faith is you're going to jump on. So you got it.
Well, yes, I'm attempting. It says I'm launching now.
Perfect. Okay. So Faith has been doing the little work for a little while now. Who did, just out of curiosity, who did do?
Okay, here I am.
Oh yay! Faith is on. Okay, so who did do the Demartini Method leading up to this? And what were your charges? What were your specific traits, actions, or inactions that you noticed about the virus? So it doesn't matter if you did a box or a line or the entire form, or if you didn't even do anything, that's okay too. So you just have to share whatever, anything.
Mine created uncertainty of the future.
Perfect. We shared the same traits, action.
Yes.
Actually, same in action. Yep.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what did you have for side A?
I haven't tackled side A yet.
Okay. That's okay.
I did one line on side B.
Yep.
But had some great insights with it, and really was like, holy shit, like I've been doing this my whole life.
Yeah.
To like have people fear me.
Yeah, I had a moment like that as well. It was like, oh my whole life, not just it's not just a recent charge, but it's my whole life. Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for sharing. So Ria shared that she worked on taking from financial nest, creating fear among masses, influencing the masses, and letting the earth breathe. That gives me goosebumps, by the way.
Beautiful.
Pam has shared that so Maggie has shared that she worked on creating uninspiring work and increased risk of her dad's health challenges. Perfect. So everyone is going to come and see the charge differently. Alex has said that he puts income at risk. Great. Feel free to unmute yourself if you'd like. So what was the specific trait, action, or inaction that you worked on? If you worked on something, if you didn't work on something, you can also put your hand up, because the byproduct of this program, I hope that, well, my intention is that you also, for those that haven't done the work or haven't done the depth of work, that you get a shift from this. that you get to run, right off the coattails of the work that both Faith and I and others that have done, and that you can see and transform some of your own emotions, and you can resolve it and have moments of tears, gratitude and certainty for that. So David, I see that you have done some work.
Just put it in, I think I've spelled it right.
That's okay. So Pam has worked on side B as disruptive, secretive and intimidating, and side A as unifying, non-partisan and global transformer. Definitely has been that. So David is fierce and bringing peace. Isn't that interesting? You've got the two sides. Debbie is increasing my technological and teaching skills with going online. Definitely. So Pam is but shut down is also mine. Definitely. I actually just before I woke up at 5 this morning and now the webinar, and I realized there was one actually extra component that I wanted to work on, which was deadly. And I was like, okay, so I'm in the shower and I'm like, where am I deadly? Where am I killed? Where am I? Yeah, it was huge. So one thing we'll notice when we do the work is our reaction or our charges. So if I share what I was doing beforehand versus now. So at nighttime, I noticed that I had a tendency to go and look at the news. Yep. So this last week, just before I would go to sleep, I was like, oh, let's just look at the news. And I would look at the news and I could feel my entire body just go on alert. And then I would be up until midnight sometimes, just looking at the news and just scrolling the news. And I partly did it because I wanted to build up a charge, because I wanted to build up so that I could actually have more content to be able to also work with as well. And part of that was that. But also I just noticed I noticed I couldn't stop. And then last night I thought, let me check. How did I go? How did I go with the Demartini method on the virus? So I went to the news and I started scrolling and I was like, yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to sleep now. I rolled over and I went straight to sleep. So as soon as my head hit the pillow, I was asleep. And so we know that that's when the work is done. Not saying that it's not going to require more work in the future, because other things might come up. But it's a feedback for me to go, so I noticed that my reaction or my action was different than what it had been in the past. So remember that we have influence over 3 things: our perceptions, our decisions, and our actions. The third part, if our actions aren't changing, it means that our perceptions haven't shifted to make our decisions different to then change our actions. So that's something that we want to be aware of then, is if our actions, the thing down the end of the line, if they're not changing, what other perception would be helpful to shift and change? So we want to ask that question in order to make our actions or transform our actions. So where's Faith? Where's Faith? Let's check her out. Oh.
How's that? Can you hear me?
Oh, there she is.
You see me and hear me?
Yes.
That is a major achievement. In conquering fear.
Yes. So you can also, if you want to, just are you on a laptop or a computer?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, if you just put your screen, pull your screen down just slightly. I saw a funny meme of people doing the Zoom sessions, and then sometimes you just see like the corner of their head, or you see, like the side, or you see just their chin or their forehead. Where are you, Faith? Where's Faith?
There she is.
All right. So it would be amazing if you could share with me what was the traits, actions, or inactions that you worked on, you specifically worked on with the virus?
Okay. Well, side A, I worked on transforming lives, the planet, and leaving a legacy.
Yep. So, and then what did you work on for side B?
And then on what, just the one trait?
If you, you share all of them.
On exactly the same trait on side B.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah. So, in other words, invited, not invited.
Yep.
Impacting my life, showing another way of being, and bringing people together.
Yep.
Creating new awareness and skills, and stretching and deepening my life.
Yeah.
And on the other side, fearful of your powerful end of ending my life, fearful I won't be strong enough to hold against your force, and fearful of the aftermath of your arrival and impact on the future.
Huge.
Mm.
So I'll share mine just so that everyone watching, you can also have an idea of, you know, what were the specific traits, actions, or inactions that we both worked on. So for me, just get my book. I worked on 3. Was bringing people together, freeing me from contract, and providing me an opportunity to take action. And on side B,
Sorry, the risk of being boring, do you mind repeating that? Yeah.
So the first one was bringing people together.
Yeah.
Next was freeing me from a contract. And the next was providing an opportunity to take action.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Ria, for writing them in there in the chat section. And then side B for me was, so same with what Curtis had, was uncertain of the future.
Mm-hmm.
Shut down, which I perceive to shut down countries and businesses specifically. Mm-hmm. And the third was creating unstable emotions in people.
Mm-hmm.
So remember that we become ourselves to the degree that we make everyone and everything ourselves. So this is partly why we're doing the virus and personifying the virus, or seeing what are the things we like and dislike about it, is because we then become, that part of us becomes us. So Faith.
Yeah.
What's been is there anything that you would want to change about the virus?
Not at the moment.
Is there anything that you would want it to have done more of or less of?
Oh, no.
So what is in your heart that you would love to share with the virus?
I'd like to say, Corona, I spent my life trying to understand characters. And I came in under very difficult circumstances. I realized that you're me and I'm you. I realized that you have no need, don't have a drive to kill. You have a drive to fulfill your intention. And the same way that I did that, I caused havoc in my arrival. The intention was so strong to be here, to do what I'm doing, and to understand, and to know and comprehend, find meaning, and then to share that with others. And I'm grateful for your arrival, because as one ages, you start to doubt how much time you have left. And you've taken me back to the strength of reach and determination I had to be born, and to know that I have as long as I have the drive to be that. And I respect you because you're not totally understood at the moment. And in time, people will see your purpose and will see why you're here at this perfect time. And I want to thank you personally, because you reminded me to believe in myself and believe in that my energies and my choices are there for me to make. And I feel a new freedom in that. I'm grateful for my mother too, that she allowed me, she brought me here, and through great difficulty. So everything I do, I commit to her, and in appreciation of my life. So thank you, and thank you for waking me up to possibilities.
I feel like it's my purpose to create you to feel like that you have meaning in your life, that your life means something, that you don't just go walking around day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year, and just blasé through life. That I want your life to mean something, and to have purpose, because it's the purpose that makes life so profound, and that you're here to do something great. And sometimes we need a little push to get there.
A reminder.
A reminder.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And I know you'll be here as long as you're meant to be.
Yeah, I know sometimes I feel misunderstood.
Well, we know from our learnings that there is no destruct without construct. And so all the while you're perceived as destructing, there is magnificent constructions going on everywhere.
Yeah. I can see that there's huge companies going, Foxtel this morning going under. But other companies, little companies, are being birthed as a result. And when people can see that transformation, they'll see how magnificent and beautiful it is. Most people need time for that to happen. If we look back at 9/11, there's the transformation. People there's been huge blessings and transformations, but they had to allow the time to be able to see that. But you don't need the time.
The other thing I felt this morning was to go back over. I mean, I know what happened after, I think it was World War II, there were 20 million people died. It was the biggest expansion of technology ever in time. And also with World War I, it expanded heart surgery. They were too frightened to touch the heart. It was a special place not to be touched. But because so many lives were threatened, they had to leap in. And so there was a huge expansion in surgery. The same with Afghanistan is the what's come out of that is all the research on disabilities and how to manage that. And all science.
So it's interesting because now we're having another evolution to people using technology, and this is going to take the world to a new sphere, because if you're not currently using technology, you're not connected.
The other thing that I thought too is, in the same way as John says, we self-correct. That the planet is self-correcting by the arrival of this virus. So it can't go too far. It can't go beyond balance. It will just self-correct.
Yeah.
It's playing its role in self-correcting the planet. And individuals on the way.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you would like to share with the virus?
I don't think so. I think I said it all. How about you? Oh, okay.
So I'd love to thank you for the opportunity to bring so many people together. For me, I felt like social media has been, I've been distant from social media. I haven't felt a desire since having Bonnie that I wanted to be so much exposed on social media. I wanted to spend and invest my time with her. And then all of a sudden, you came around and has awoken something inside of me again that I haven't felt in a really long time, in being able to come back on social media, but in a really inspiring and heartfelt way, and to be able to serve. And so I love being able to bring people together in ways that never thought imaginable or possible. To be able to watch a choir sing so amazingly beautiful on a Zoom session is unbelievable, like goosebump moment that brought me to tears, that we're evolving and changing in a way that I never thought would be possible. It's like technology's been around, but we haven't kind of been embracing it as much. And this is an opportunity really for all of us to embrace technology, in a way that my partner's mum, who's 80 and she can't even see properly, we sent her a phone, and now she has Snapchat and she has Facebook, and we FaceTimed her, so she got to see Bonnie for the first time. Like that would never have happened had you not shown yourself. And so I can see that I'm incredibly grateful for the connectedness that is, shifting and evolving. I can see that, I have an opportunity to bring people together as well, but I also can see that the existential crises that people go through when they come to do the work and they come to do the Demartini Method, and as equally as it is about helping people to transform, I can also see that it is also destructive as well, that we have the both sides of it, and that it is unstable and stable altogether. So I'm also grateful because I love what I do. I love helping people make connections and see the perfection in their life. I love that. And I have known for a long time that I wanted to do something more with my life, and I wanted to do something more with the knowledge and wisdom that I had. And this has provided me the perfect opportunity to be able to do that. And you've provided me the perfect opportunity to do that. I mean, I've been running webinars and doing all that for a long time, but kind of never done it on my own. It has always been with another company at the same time. So I feel like finally I have a moment, some time to be able to do that and to serve just me and serve my people through just serving me, if that makes sense. So that feels really freeing and liberating at the same time. So I also realized that, you know, when I look at shutdown, and I look at the amount that you have shut down the world, like you've shut down so much, you know, you haven't just shut down a country, you know, it's not just been one country, but it's been like the entire world that there's being shut down in certain ways, you know, and to a point that one country, you know, is shut down to each individual room that you can't even leave. And so it made me realize how much my entire life I've shut down, that I've shut down, you know, close connections, and I've shut down relationships, and I've shut down people getting close to me, and I've shut down even my parents getting close to me. You know, I shared something really personal on my Students of Wisdom page, and my parents rang me the other day, and they said, you know, at the very end of our call, they said, I learned more about you in the last, like, you know, 18 months than I have in my entire, or almost 39 years that I learned more about you. And so I realized how shut down I'd been. And so it's made me realize I own it, and I don't want to change that. It's me, it's who I've been, but it's also, I also choose, because having Bonnie, I don't want to be, I want to be open with her, and I want to let love in. You know, something that really touched me and keeps on hitting a chord for me is that, you know, Rumi says it's not about learning to love, it's about learning to, like, let the barriers of love down and dissolve them to be able to let love in. And so I feel like that's what you have been doing for me, is being able to remove more of those barriers around, so I can let love in.
My intention is to have people find the world, to find their heart again, to be with the world, the planet, and to simplify and to experience that with each other, and then experience it with country to country, to pull as one.
I see that, like I see that we, even though we are, you know, in our own space, we are connected as one. Like,
and when you shut down on others, you were really looking to know yourself. And my intention was for that reason. And as far as you were concerned, Tanya, dearest girl, you have enormous talent, enormous heart, and an enormous amount to give. And Bonnie will recognise that your family will recognise, but more importantly for you to know is that your child or children will notice that, and they'll love you for that. So you can't do anything that they won't allow to happen, or will be disappointed that it's happened, because as you step away from them, they will get exactly what they need, and that is very enriching. And I can assure you that the world needs that right now. Needs for all individuals to have something to say that heals hearts and births greater truth and meaning.
Yeah, I can see for a lot of people that, you know, we've been stripped of, you know, sport, you know, going out to socialize. We've been stripped of going, you know, even to our business, stripped of like everything. And what I realized is that it's when we get stripped bare of everything, of our finances, of our, you know, of our friendships,
time to go in.
Yeah, it's time to go inward. And that's what I've realized with my shutdownness, that it's every time I've done that, I've gone inward, because it's the inward journey for me that has been the most profound and the most the most transformational and the most that I don't give a shit about other people's opinions, that I care about my own inner wisdom and my own inner knowing, and that my inner voice more than anything else, that I know that this is a perfect opportunity for so many people to kind of really get to know themselves in a way that they've never been able to, that without the distractions. Yes, there's a distraction on social media or whatever it is, but it's like outside of that, when you turn that off, it's just you. It's just you. And for them people to come out of this experience and know themselves so much more is going to be profound.
And there's been that evolution and transformation right through history.
Yeah.
And
actually,
I remember
history rhymes.
I'm out of talking to you now and talking to John. I remember John saying in one of our early seminars years and years ago, people were on about peace. And he said, for goodness sake, when are you going to realize that there will not be peace without war, and there won't be war without peace? And he said, the only way there will be so-called peace is the planet is attacked by aliens. He wasn't saying there were aliens, but he was saying from an outside force that will pull the world together. And that's what I believe, that's what I identified with Corona, straight up, that what he said those 25 years ago is happening. It isn't through a nuclear attack. It isn't. But you can see that we're going to be humbled, but also we're going to pull together and learn from each other and set a new course.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like we the only time a family comes together is when they're fighting with their neighbours down the road, right? And so then this is an opportunity for us to come together. Although there's still, it's not 100% coming together, because there's still people who are like blasé about it, people who believe it, don't believe it.
But we must remember also too that everyone's playing at different levels.
Yeah.
They're not all playing on the same game.
Yeah.
So
something I remember
who
reading.
lives and who doesn't live, who knows? You know, it's I guess those that have a strong vision and intention for their lives.
Well, something I thought of is, so if we look at prophecy 2 and we look at the lungs, which it affects the most, is that lungs are about inspiration. And it's like, well, how inspired are you with your life?
Yeah.
How inspired?
Yeah.
Are you inspired? And then if you're inspired, I'm not saying that you're exempt from it, but maybe it will influence your experience of it if you do have it. Something I remember reading in the Cosmos book actually is that to evolve, evolution doesn't happen from order, it happens from disorder.
That's right.
We actually require this and this level in order for us to grow. We don't grow through being okay. We grow through the challenge, and we grow through the chaos and the mayhem. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to grow and evolve.
And I think just because we reach a point of equilibration now doesn't mean that something else won't come up, because it's such it has such a life to it, has such a force to it.
Yeah, so
it can take us to newer and newer levels of knowing ourselves. And you know, where else do we find that out? It's only through challenge, and this is a major challenge, so therefore it's a major opportunity. As Einstein said, in difficulty there's opportunity.
Definitely. So I remember,
I think this is the opportunity to grow spiritually and to refine our intentions and our visions and missions, and get more detail and expand. Because I think people will come up with new ideas like you have to do this and so forth. So
it's interesting because
look for the new leaves on the trees.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because over the 11 years now of doing the Demartini Method, I haven't been exempt from challenges, even to a point of being super, like, very, very low. But what I realized is that if I look back almost 5 years ago, 4.5 years ago, that time actually birthed so much for me. that the Demartini Method doesn't make you exempt from charges. It's not the only tool that helps either. It's not a tool for every use. It's a tool for 1,000 uses, but it's profound. But it's the times that we go through darkness and challenges that actually we end up learning so much more about ourselves.
As we're climbing, to the top of the mountain.
Yeah, exactly. And it's supposed to be
gets more accountable. So it doesn't get easier, it gets more accountable.
Yeah, but we also have a beautiful tool to be able to work through it as well. So when you're ready. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Faith, for sharing, and thank you for being courageous and being and sharing.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I'd love to know. So part of the like entanglement and the dynamic is that everyone who gets pulled into a completion station is influenced or impacted in some way, shape, or form. It's a reflection for them, or there's an insight that happens that makes them kind of open their hearts, or brings them to tears. So I'd love to hear from you.
Sorry, I got distracted.
That's okay. So who would love to share their thoughts? I can see that Kathy's shared that I would never have had the most heartfelt discussion and connection with my son without you. Oh, it's been profound and shifted our relationship. Wow, I've got goosebumps from head to toe. That's beautiful.
I was reflecting on what Faith was talking about when she referred to John's reference to an alien force at some point would bring the globe together. And I remember thinking that a couple of weeks ago, and just thinking about the coronavirus as an alien, and how remarkable it was that we were coming together, and we are seeing such extraordinary things from the environment, from governments that have been so separate from each other, supporting each other. And even in the paper the other day, the unions and the government, aligning together to, forming new relationships and against, I suppose, or in response to this virus.
Inspiring leadership like Jacinda Ardern.
Yeah, exactly. And it just filled my heart to see, while we know all the things, the negative things about this, it's so beautiful to see so many other walls being stripped away. And and I believe someone said that the world will never be the same again. But when we get through all of this, the world will never be the same again. And I'm seeing that already. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Kate shared that she realised in the last few years why she's been stockpiling cash, and also being affected deeply in a property downturn 6 years ago, that she can see that she's learnt so much, and she's more stable as a doc during the financial chaos. I definitely hear you, sister. And so she can focus fully on her fulfilling work as a result, as opposed to getting emotional and caught up.
Pam here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Pam. We can hear you.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
can't get my video up unless I quit. So sorry about that. But I'm in a dressing gown. That's okay too.
You're just
Beautiful.
just the way you are.
Tanya, shut down. That just so, it wasn't something on my radar. But I realised how shut down and out of it I've been for probably as long as you were from your challenges. I've done things like broken my ankle and wrist and all sorts, and not had employment, and tiptoeing around other people because I've shut myself down. This disruption has come in, and I have been a disruptive force. It's my way of trying to put in protections I can't touch my children. I can't go and see them. I can't see my loved ones. I just realized I had been disconnected from my purpose. But your words and you being here, I want to read out my purpose. And it was after I'd met with Kim Jobst back in 2015, I actually recalled and recognized it and realized what I've been doing all my life. And that is to connect people to their inner light and express their being, to connect them to their purpose. So thank you.
Thank
you. 2008, right? Was it we first met, Tanya?
Yes.
Yes, yes. In 2004, Faith. My first ever breakthrough was just you and John.
Beautiful.
So,
and you know, I often say to actors when they shut down and do this, we're just researching. Researching the next level, researching the next level of knowing ourselves. You know?
Yeah.
And you know,
it's important to do that, you know.
But also it takes courage now to start living it. Like something that someone said recently on I think it was Larissa on the Students of Wisdom page. She said that I've been here before. Like I've been here before, and then after thinking about that, I was like, oh my God, I've also been here before. I hit my head. I fell a meter doing acrobatics, and I fell straight on my head, a meter off the ground, and had to spend 3 weeks in lockdown. Basically, I couldn't even have the sunlight, so I just had to be in darkness. And I was like, oh my God, I've also been here before. After reading her thing, I was like, oh my God, me too. And so I realized that if we don't take action now, that this is where we'll come back to and be in a similar position again. Because anything that we're not getting, the lesson gets louder and louder and louder and louder until it's like right in your face and it smacks you round for you to get it. And so it's now that that's been birthed for, I know many people, it's like go do something about it. Because if you don't do something about it, the next hit will come.
I thought drought didn't do it. Fires didn't do it.
Yeah, fires.
Try this one.
We're going to come out of this like resilient as. So I also noticed that Pamela wanted to share her insights. So Pamela.
Yes.
Welcome.
Sorry, I just had a bit of technical difficulty with the camera. I just woke up, so it's I'm really grateful that I get to hear a lot of insights. The reason why I joined is because, well, I'm really young. Like I don't have, to be honest, like I didn't even notice. Like people are having so many charges with the virus, and it's interesting to see, especially people who are in the older generation. I feel like they have more charges because they've gone through a lot in life, and probably that's why. I get very puzzled as of why people are so like they like to watch the news a lot, and that really puzzles me. And I think today I sort of get the answer why. And I'm really grateful to be part of today, just to hear. It's really beautiful to see. Like for example, I think Faith, you said something about the virus being so powerful, it can impact so many people and change people's lives. And I didn't see it that way. I mean, I know it's a big force, but I didn't see it until someone points it out. So it's amazing to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing, and thank you for.
It's okay.
So I know. So Elizabeth has said that. So with self-isolation, she realized how self-isolated she'd been for most of her life. Goosebumps. I also have realized that as well. I said, after this, I am not staying at home anymore. I'm like going out. I'm more of a homebody than I am going out. But I feel you. And so I've been a part of your Facebook page, but never knew what what quality question to ask. So I am ready to ask even if the question isn't quality. Oh, beautiful. That she just wants to come out of her isolation, which is super. I just goosebumps from head to toe. Demetria shared that she used to feel so overwhelmed with the information and so fast-paced with life and emotion, fear of others, so did not know how to slow down and keep up with everything. So I'm loving this. Could slow down and become more aware. This is the opportunity for me to step up. So she's still surprised on how much she's achieved in just 1 week. I know I've created something for you guys in a week as well, which I'd love to share with you in just a minute. Curtis has a share. If I just share on one thing though, before we jump on to Curtis, is something that I've realized, especially with having Bonnie, is I wanted to just be present with her, being present, being pregnant. And I mean, it was kind of only been like 18 months or so kind of in that journey, and I just wanted to be present with her. But what I realized yesterday, after doing the Demartini Method on the virus, and then just really being able to, on the charges that I had at that particular time, and just being able to just be with her in the afternoon and evening, it was just beautiful, just to be present with her without thinking about what work I had to do or who I had to connect with or what I had to do, but just be fully present with her and just have a moment where she giggled and giggled and giggled. It was like just heartwarming that you could just learn to just be in the moment. So that was beautiful. So Curtis, I'd love you to share.
Yeah, thank you. So Corona has really allowed me and connected me back with like my vision in a way of like not allowing me to try to go escape and get quick fixes, but to commit to it, like fully commit to the vision. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm committed to. This is what I'm here for. And even like with my life being ripped apart last year from losing a brand new home, my ex-girlfriend, a dog, like just being shredded apart, to all my money, to being in a position right now where there's nowhere to go and get another job. Like it's a full commitment.
Yeah.
And it's allowed me just to feel into my heart and see with my heart what my eyes can't see, but my heart can see in my eyes, and what my heart could feel. And then also to build a relationship with this new woman in a way I haven't actually done in the past, but I've actually been asking for within my power statements that I have written down and been visualizing about.
Because you can't physically see each other, you have to connect in a new way. Yeah.
So it's been this beautiful like inner commitment of my inner volition of like, okay, it's go time.
Yeah, I can see that, like in terms of, because there's no distraction in taking you off path anymore. It's just like you are here, and there's nothing else to keep you off path, but this is it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Actually, I heard in terms of a relationship, I heard a beautiful story in New York, that there was a man, and he, because everyone is at home and they're in their tightly confined spaces, he noticed someone across the way, and they started, chatting, and he started, wooing her on TikTok, and then his whole TikTok audience, started to kind of get behind them. Anyway, he put himself in one of those bubble things, that you can stand inside a bubble, and he walked outside, and he gave her a flower so he could keep his 1.5 meter distance. So they're now dating. So new relationships will be birthed. But in terms of old relationships that are together, new ways to connect again, which is beautiful. So thank you, Curtis, for sharing. So what I'd love to share, because as we're wrapping up, then I want to thank everyone for coming along and participating. And I hope that you learned something about yourself and had an insight and a realization about the virus. Also realized I wore green, embracing and owning my virus inside of me. In terms of purpose, and something that really came out for me, which is what Curtis also just shared, was that drive to really create and do something purposeful and just knuckle down. So I have thought about doing this and had put some things in motion, and I've done a lot of practice, but now it's time. So I have put together a program, and at different levels depending on where you're at, but in terms of helping you to grow yourself, to grow your business, to grow your knowledge and application of applying the Demartini method, which is our pure focus in these sessions. So I'd love to just share with you just the different options if you so choose to take up. So let me just get out my presentation. So 1 second. Let me just share. Because I know that a lot of people come to into learning about the Demartini method, and they get a little lost or a little stuck, or they require some extra training of their brain to be able to do the work, because it's not necessarily easy. So let me show you some options that we have. So let me go into, so I've got different webinar series for you to be able to help and inspire you to do the work. So first of all, if you know anyone who wants to come and join the Students of Wisdom group, it is open to anyone. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone who has done the breakthrough experience before, or has just someone who loves personal development. That's ultimately, if they're open to that, then come on in. They can more than welcome to join. So I'm going to be doing a monthly mindset mastery class. It's going to be $8 a month for one session a month. It's going to be an hour, and we're going to have a discussion about a different topic each month. So from there, then if you wanted to come and do something more regularly, I've got a starter pack, which is 1 hour weekly webinar every week, except if it's the 5th week of the month, it's not on. So it's four sessions in a month. So it's $58. It's not US, it's Australian dollars, by the way. So it's $58 a month, where you get 4 hours plus you get 4 hours work to apply the work. So we'll go through a different aspect of the Demartini method each session. So for the first week, we're going to go through column 1 and 8, 2 and 9. The next session we'll go through 3 and 10, 4 and 11. The next we'll do 5 and 12 and 7 and 14. And the last week, which is week 4, we go through columns 6 and 13. So just an hour on 6 and 13. So this isn't to talk about the work. Yes, you'll learn, and I'll explain how to do the work, but it's an opportunity for you to actually do the work and share some of your insights and realizations and what you get stuck on. And so it will give you an opportunity to fast track what you're doing and applying with it. Then if you would love to do something a little bit more, you get the premium package, then gets the starter package and the monthly drop-in days. So the monthly drop-in day is a 3-hour session, which is just building that momentum. So we're going to do a full Demartini method on either a trait of the great, or someone in your business, or someone at home, or if you want to do the virus again, we'll do a full Demartini method on whoever you decide to work on coming into the break, into the session. Then if you want something more than that, and you're like, I would like something even more tailored, so I have a monthly drop-in day. So what that is that's included, you get the hour of power plus the doing day, and then also the drop-in day. So this drop-in day is only for six individuals in a group. So once it maxes out at 6 individuals, I'll create a new group. So this is in those 3 hours that you get, you'll get a 30-minute slot to be able to work one-on-one with me, and I'll work one-on-one with you and clear an issue, a challenge that you're having, or get you to own a trait, action or inaction. But I'll purely work with you on whatever it is to help you to grow yourself, to grow your business. So with that, you can either come for the whole thing, so 3 hours. You'll sign a contract first to make sure that there's confidentiality. You don't share anyone else's sessions with anyone else. It's just purely you'll listen to other people's sessions and you'll learn from that, because we learn from other people's stuff and them resolving it. We'll also learn. But then you can also, if you want, just come in for your 30 minutes, you can do that as well. So that is so it's a 3-hour session, but you get an active 30-minute part of that. So that's the business. So if you wanted to do all of that, if you came, so they're all the different, what it's all about. I've got a special for just you guys who've come to the webinar today and come to do the completion station with us. I have a special for you, and it's for the early adopters. So it's 30% off indefinitely. So if you decide to jump on board and do the doing day, for example, at $258, it's 30% off that indefinitely. So it is an opportunity then for you to jump on and to start applying the work, but also get a discount as a result. So if you're looking at what the prices would be, it's $40 a month. If you want to come and just do an hour a week, it's $40 a month. And it's Australian dollars. So I think in America, you're like $20, 20 US. I'm not sure about the UK. So in terms of the doing day, it's $180 a month. So you get the hour of power. So altogether, you get 7 hours of working time every month to just come and apply the work. You get to ask questions, have those questions answered. And if you'd like to do the entire package, including the drop-in day, it's $670 for the month. So if you are at all interested, then I will give you the URL to sign up for. It is, and it is only available now until so you've got 2 weeks. So kind of 2 weeks to decide if it's what you want to do or not. Then awesome. If it is, and you would love to, your code to get in is first time. So if you're wondering when we're going to start, we're actually starting on Wednesday. So given that's the first of the month, we are going to start on Wednesday to do our hour of power. So if you're interested in coming on, just to let you know, the first month is free if you decide to do the hour of power. So there's no cost to you if you decide to come along. You can cancel at any time. So the memberships are set up so that you don't have to, if you want to come and do the first month hour of power and then you realize you don't want to do it again, you don't want to pay the $58 a month, then no problem. You can at least come and do the first month with us. If you'd like to continue, then it's $58 a month. If you would like to cancel, it's a membership that you can cancel anytime. So it's not something that you have to do a contract. I'm not asking to do a contract with me for 12 months. I'm just come and spend a month with me and see how it goes, see what transformations you can make. And if you'd like to continue, great. If you didn't and you feel like you've got enough confidence to be able to do it on your own, then great too. So my purpose is to help inspire you to be able to do and apply the method also on your own, but sometimes having it in a group of people is actually super inspiring as well. So if it is something that you'd love to do, all you have to do is click on the link there and have a look and join us. It would be amazing. So thank you for coming, and thank you for participating in the program, and thank you for doing the work that led up to this. I know that, hearing what Kate said, and I know that the work that we have been doing on the Demartini Method and on ourselves and clearing our emotions up until this point, up until the virus came about, is actually the very thing that's going to hold us in more rock solid through this journey. Like, it's the work that we do every day that helps us in the seeming crisis that we have. So don't underestimate the power of applying it just a little bit every single day. Now, if you've done the work and you've had a transformation, this doesn't make you exempt from all challenges with the virus now. There will be more stuff that will come up, and there'll be some more stuff that you have to own, and more stuff fantasies that you have to crack, or nightmares that you have to dissolve. And that's the tool then to be able to use the Demartini Method to start applying and taking action. So I want to thank you. Thank you, Faith, for inspiring me and for also sharing your insights and your realizations from applying the work.
Likewise, Tanya. Likewise. It's been a treasure. Thank you.
Thank you, team, for either waking up early or staying up late for us. So I'm super grateful, very appreciative. And if you have any questions, you can also just write them inside of the Students of Wisdom page. Feel free to join, get people to join if you know them, people who would love to come and participate in the program. So thank you, everyone. Much love to you, and I look forward to seeing you at the next perfect time.